Right, I'm going to try my best to explain the differences between the Vulcan 3 and the M3, or the Impact. This is my own personal opinion though. So, first of all, the feel. I'm not sure if it's because I prefer wood, but the Vulcan 3 for me just feels so much nicer to hold, to shoot, everything. It just feels so much nicer. Not saying the Impact's bad. The trigger, like, I've set the trigger on the M3 for me. I've set the trigger on all the Impacts for me that I've had. But the Vulcan 3, straight out of the box, I haven't touched this trigger, and for me, it's really, really, really good. The downside to the Vulcan though is the hammer ping. Now I bought a depinger. Now in the video that I've uploaded, you can't really notice that much of a difference, but in person you can. But I think it's more the hammer spring ping than coming from the actual plenum. But yeah, it is quite annoying before you install added parts, you know. Also, like if you like your added extras, like, you know, like your rails and, you know, your blanket and stuff like that. Obviously the Impact is, you know, there's so much for the Impacts. For the Vulcan, well, there's not that much really. Cock and handle, which that one's got anyway. That's about it really, I think. Not that you need it though, you know, like, doesn't bother me. Alright, so next up, like the magazines. To be honest with you, both are faultless. The Vulcan 3, it's only, I think it's 12 shots, but nice magazine. The Impact is obviously, it's a lot bigger. I find it easier to load the Impact magazine as well. So servicing to strip the gun down, like I find the Impact really, really easy to strip down anyway. Done it loads of times now. It's really, really easy. The Vulcan 3 is just like, well, it's just piece of piss, like, you know. Right, next up, barrels. Like the Impact, you got the liners, so it's a benefit as well, because obviously my 700 came with the heavy, which I believe is a 1 in 16 twist. Don't get me wrong, I got the light slug shooting pretty good out of it, but when I had the 600, I had the normal superior liner, and I was 1 in 24, and that was, you know, I liked them, but that's what they say anyway. So I bought the normal superior 700 1 in 24 twist for the M3, and yeah, loved them as well. Not just the 23s, I liked quite a few, but 23s is what I like to shoot. You get a good shot count. It does what I need it to do. Obviously, when you know, you have a slight wind at 60 yards, and it makes a difference. But you know, it's all I need. If you like shooting cannons around the place, these 34s, 40s, and whatever, you know. But both guns will easily do it. When I bought this gun, I believe it was like 34s at 1,008 feet per second, something like that. It worked out around 76 foot-pound, I think it was. Oh no, 1,002 feet per second. I think it was like 76 foot-pound. To me, I went out, I shot it twice on the farm, and that was it then. And it's like you scare everything in a mile as well. So, but each to their own. Both guns will easily do the power, easily. With the M3 though, obviously, if you got to start upgrading the hammer and stuff, the higher up the reg and stuff you go, the hammer weight. But the barrels, though, I've noticed already with the Vulcan, you have to clean it a lot more. Like, what I must have tested, I think about 600, 700 slugs, and I already started seeing a one or two spiraling. Now I'm not sure if that was down to the barrel. I'm not sure if that was down to that slug. I don't know, but when I cleaned it, it was pretty dirty. And this barrel I polished, because when I first got it, the groups, from what the gun was meant to do, to me it weren't that impressive. So I polished all my barrels that I've had, all the liners that I've had, and it's always made a difference. Never ever have I done one and it's been worse. It's always been, well, so say like you've got a barrel and it only likes 1 out of 5 pellets or slugs that you're shooting. Polish it and it might like more of them. Like the one I did, it turned out, I think it was like 4 out of 5 it turned out to like. So to me it's well worth polishing a barrel. So for the impact liners, as I said, I polished it. And I haven't cleaned that liner since, and that's had, I don't know, it's had thousands of slugs through it. So yeah. Right, for tuning, now this is the part I hate with the Vulcan. Like with the M3, it's so easy to like change the reg pressure, the hammer, etc. and all that, isn't it? But when it comes to that with the Vulcan 3, you've got to empty all the air out to adjust the reg. Now, that is time consuming on its own. Never mind like wasting it. If you've got a reg tester, it's a lot easier, I suppose. But then you still got to put it back in and shoot groups with it. And then if it doesn't work, you still got to take that reg back out. But at least with a reg tester, you know what pressure you're shooting before putting the reg back in. So the M3 hands down wins. It's like, and not only that as well. I've noticed with the M3, well, with the Impact, the Mark II and the Mark III, right, let me try and explain this best I can. So when you shoot in groups, so you shoot through the power wheel, like, so you got 16 seconds, you're shooting through the power wheel. More than likely, you might have like 8 that shoot really acceptable groups, and then you'll have like 1 or 2 that shoots like really good groups. Now with the Vulcan, I've noticed that if you start adjusting out the hamstring on set reg pressure, you don't have that. It's like you might have 2, say, but you'll have 1 which will be really good. So it's like with the Impacts, you have I don't know, it's like not more choice, like more ease of tuning then, because like if you're after like pinpoint accuracy, right, yeah, you could spend days tuning the Vulcan and stuff, and even the Impact. But if you're after hunting accuracy, you can find it really easy with the Impact. I find it a lot harder to find it with the Vulcan than the Impact, if that makes sense. But for accuracy wise, once you find that tune, I think both guns are matched. I don't think one is better than the other. Accuracy, for accuracy, they're both really consistent as well. As I said, I'm only shooting a 23 grain, so as soon as I feel like a slight bit of wind, I've got to hold, or I've got to adjust, or miss, so it's but if I wanted to, I could easily go to a 34 or whatever everybody else shoots. But I got, as I said, I got no need for it. So, but yeah, for accuracy, I think both guns are just really extremely accurate. If you put them in like a no-wind condition, they match each other. If they were both tuned for the top potential, they would both match each other. Shot count. There we are, shot count. I have noticed I get more, because obviously I'm shooting the same size slug, apart from shooting Zans in this, I'm shooting NSAs in the M3. the same power, the same feet per second, but I have noticed I get quite a few more shots out of the M3, even if because I don't fill the Vulcan past 250 bar anyway, and I fill the M3 to 230. But I probably get about another another mag to 28 shots out of the impact than I do the Vulcan. So I'm not sure if that's just, I don't know, if the way it's balanced, more efficient on air, I'm not sure. But I have noticed the Vulcan gauge as well. That's out 20 bar. So from my compressor and my 2 dive bottles, there's 20 bar difference between them and the Vulcan gauge. So what else? Yeah, but obviously, you know, shot count doesn't really bother me because I take a bottle with me anyway, dives bottle with me anyway. But just for people that, you know, want to know. And not only that as well, the Vulcan's got a 580 bottle in it, I'm sure of it. Hang on, let me check. Yeah, not sure if you can see that. Yeah, 580 bottle. And I'm sure on my impact it's, sure it's a 480, I think. But yeah, definitely the impact is definitely more efficient on there. Another one as well, Holden Zero. Like I've never had a problem with the impact. Obviously, if you've got a massive difference in temperature, your point of impact is going to be different. But that's down to velocity. But yeah, but since having this Vulcan 3, I get it out. I put the silencer on the end, and I shoot, and it always seems to be good with the impact as well. Most of the time before I start shooting, when I'm at the farm, I'll do like a little zero check, and you know, obviously things play a part if I'm shooting one day and it's really, really windy before I even get there. But you know, I take that into account. But yeah, as for Holden Zero, I think both are like really, really good. With the impacts, with my Mark II, which I had the 600 on, and the Mark III, which I got now, which I've got the 700 on, both have got tension barrels on. The first one, the 600, was a full stainless steel liner, with like a carbon fiber tube, and I bought it off eBay. It worked really, really well for me. The second one on the 700 impact is from Humor. Again, works really, really well for me. I don't have a problem. With the Vulcan, as I said, I just get it out, I shoot, and it seems to be really, it seems to hold. It seems to be really good so far. Biggest difference I did see, I was testing the other day. We were inside the barn. Now on this barn, there's like 3 or 4 openings. Now you don't notice it because it was really windy outside. You didn't notice it, but when we walk back up to the target, you feel the wind like shooting through there. So that was messing with the groups quite a lot, and it was only like, I think it was 50 or 60 yards or something like that. Now I was shooting with the silencer I bought the gun with, that it came with, not bought it with, that it came with, and the groups weren't too bad, they were alright. Without the silencer, it matched the same. Now I put the Ronin on the end, and that's when it just tightened, literally just tightened up. Now I remember when I'd done the same with the impact as well. I had the Shogun, the Sumo Shogun, the standard FX, Sumo Shogun, and the Ronin. And well, the Shogun was good. I like that silencer, but the Ronin, it just tightened things up. It weren't that much quieter, but it just tightened things up. So I don't know what it is with that silencer, but you might even hear in the videos, because the first I think like maybe 1 or 2 videos I had the silencer it came with, and then I think maybe the last hunting video that's on there, I think it's got the Ronin, and obviously the targets that I've done today and stuff got the Ronin on. But yeah, definitely tighten things up. So 20 MOA rail. Yeah, it's got a bleed screw as well, so when you want to empty the air out, it's underneath the rail. You just undo the screw and bleeds all the air out. It takes like 10 minutes, something like that, 15 minutes, and then you can disassemble the gun and then take the reg out and up the reg, down the reg, put a depinger in, you know, do whatever you want to it. Yeah, and as for emptying the air of the impact, it's just as simple. It's quicker, a lot quicker. What else? Oh yeah, for adding a Ronin or a Donny or silencer on the end, you need the adapter. So do this without dropping it now. Yeah, you need that adapter. Eagle Vision adapter. Might as well keep that off. I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, oh yeah, right. So to finish it off, for me, just it's the feel of the gun. Every time I pick it up, it's really, really nice. So for me, I'm going to end up keeping the Vulcan and getting rid of the M3. But for performance wise, I honestly don't think one beats each other. I think they are both really, really good. If you're more into like your tuning and paper punching, the M3 is a lot easier. It really is a lot easier. It's an absolute nightmare with the Vulcan. Absolute nightmare. Because obviously if you're in the field and you've only got a 7 3 litre bottle, if you got a compressor that, you know, runs off the vehicle, it might be different for you, but I got a 3 litre and 7 litre 300 bar bottles, and to empty that air all the time just to change reg pressure, then you got to go through the hammer to find the balance and all that, and shoot it on targets to find groups. You know, you go through a lot of air, you know, so, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. Both real good guns. Yeah. Cheers.